Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Before we dive into today's absolutely mind-bending footage, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell because trust me, you don't want to miss what we're about to show you. Today, we're looking at security camera footage that has left experts completely baffled, investigators scratching their heads, and the internet absolutely losing its mind. So grab your snacks, get comfortable, and let's dive into one of the most unexplainable pieces of footage ever captured on camera. So picture this. It's a quiet Tuesday night in a small suburban neighborhood just outside of Portland, Oregon. Nothing unusual, nothing out of the ordinary. Families are settling in for the night, dogs are barking in the distance, and the streets are practically empty. The Hendersons, a lovely family of 4, had just installed a brand new security system 2 weeks prior. They weren't particularly worried about crime in their area, but you know how it is. Better safe than sorry, right? They set up cameras at their front door, back door, and one overlooking their driveway. Standard stuff that thousands of families do every single day. Now, here's where things get absolutely bizarre. At exactly 2:47 in the morning, all 3 of their cameras simultaneously captured something that defies all logical explanation. Mrs. Henderson woke up the next morning, made her coffee, and decided to check the security footage like she occasionally did. What she saw made her drop her coffee mug right onto the kitchen floor. The footage shows their quiet driveway, illuminated by a single motion sensor light. Everything appears normal at first. You can see their 2 cars parked side by side, the basketball hoop their son uses, and the recycling bins they had put out for collection. Then, without any warning, without any sound, a figure appears in the frame. Now, I know what you're thinking. Someone walked into the shot, right? But here's the thing that makes this absolutely inexplicable. This figure didn't walk into frame. It didn't come from the left, the right, or from behind the camera. It simply materialized. One frame the driveway is empty. The very next frame, there's a figure standing directly in the center of the driveway. But wait, it gets even stranger. This figure appears to be humanoid in shape, but something is completely off about it. It's tall, probably around 7 feet based on the comparison to the basketball hoop nearby, and its proportions aren't quite right. The arms seem slightly too long, hanging down past where the knees would be. The way it stands is unsettling, perfectly still, not swaying, not shifting weight from one foot to another like humans naturally do. Just completely motionless, like a statue. Mrs. Henderson, understandably terrified, immediately called her husband, who was already at work. He rushed home, and together they watched the footage multiple times, trying to make sense of what they were seeing. They checked the timestamp, confirmed it wasn't a glitch, and verified that all 3 cameras had captured the same figure from different angles at the exact same time. This ruled out the possibility of a simple camera malfunction or a software glitch. Now, here's where the footage becomes even more disturbing. The figure stands there, completely motionless, for exactly 3 minutes and 17 seconds. The cameras capture it from multiple angles, and in each view, you can see that this thing, whatever it is, casts a shadow. This is important because it confirms that there was actually something physical in their driveway, not just a digital artifact or a camera error. The shadow falls exactly where it should, based on the position of the motion sensor light. But then, just as mysteriously as it appeared, it vanishes. And I don't mean it walks away or moves out of frame. I mean, it literally disappears. One moment, it's standing there, solid and casting a shadow, and the next moment, the driveway is completely empty again. No blur, no movement, no transition. Just gone. Vanished into thin air like it was never there at all. The Hendersons immediately contacted their local police department. 2 officers arrived within 20 minutes and reviewed the footage. According to the police report, which was later obtained by local news stations, the officers were, quote, genuinely perplexed by what they observed and could offer no immediate explanation. They took copies of the footage for further analysis and filed an official report. Word spread quickly through the neighborhood. Within days, local news picked up the story, and within weeks, it had gone viral across social media platforms. Security experts, video analysts, and even special effects professionals from Hollywood weighed in on the footage. And here's what makes this case so compelling. Nobody has been able to definitively explain it away. Several theories emerged almost immediately. The first and most obvious explanation that skeptics proposed was that someone simply edited the video. But here's the problem with that theory. The Hendersons provided the original files directly from their security system, complete with metadata that verified the time, date, and confirmed that the files hadn't been modified or tampered with. Multiple independent forensic video analysts examined the footage and found no evidence of editing, manipulation, or digital alteration. The second theory was that it was some kind of elaborate prank. Maybe someone in a costume using some kind of trick or illusion. But this theory falls apart pretty quickly when you consider the logistics. How would someone appear instantaneously without entering the frame? The cameras covered every possible entrance to the driveway. There were no blind spots where someone could have hidden and then jumped into view. And even if someone could somehow accomplish that, how would they vanish just as quickly? Some people suggested it could be an incredibly sophisticated hologram or projection. This is actually one of the more interesting theories because hologram technology has advanced significantly in recent years. However, experts in holographic projection pointed out several problems with this explanation. First, creating a hologram that realistic would require expensive equipment positioned relatively close to the projection area. The cameras would have picked up this equipment. Second, holograms don't cast real shadows like the figure in the footage clearly does. Then there's the more paranormal explanations that started circulating. Some people believe this was a ghost or spirit manifestation. Paranormal investigators who analyzed the footage pointed to the sudden appearance and disappearance as classic characteristics of what they call a full-bodied apparition. They also noted that the figure's unusual proportions and unnatural stillness are consistent with other reported encounters with apparitions. Others in the paranormal community suggested this could be evidence of an interdimensional being or entity. The theory goes that this being somehow crossed from another dimension into ours, remained visible for a brief period, and then returned to its own dimension. Proponents of this theory point to quantum physics and string theory, which propose the existence of multiple dimensions beyond our normal perception. The extraterrestrial hypothesis also gained traction online. UFO enthusiasts and alien researchers claimed this could be evidence of an alien visitor, possibly conducting reconnaissance or observation. They pointed to the figure's unusual height and proportions as potentially non-human characteristics. Some even suggested this could be related to the reported increase in UFO sightings in the Pacific Northwest region. What makes this case particularly fascinating is what happened in the weeks following the initial incident. Several other families in the same neighborhood reported similar experiences. A family 3 houses down checked their security footage after hearing about the Hendersons' experience and found that their camera had captured a similar figure, though from a different angle and at a slightly different time. Another neighbor reported that their dog had been acting strangely around the same time each night, barking frantically at nothing visible and refusing to go outside. The local community became divided. Some residents were terrified and considered moving away. Others were fascinated and began checking their own security footage religiously. A few enterprising individuals even started camping out at night with cameras, hoping to capture their own footage of whatever this phenomenon might be. Scientists from a nearby university became interested in the case and requested permission to set up additional monitoring equipment in the neighborhood. They installed thermal cameras, electromagnetic field detectors, and high-speed cameras capable of capturing thousands of frames per second. They monitored the area for 3 consecutive weeks, recording continuously. While they captured plenty of normal neighborhood activity, they never captured anything similar to what appeared in the Hendersons' footage. The story caught the attention of a popular podcast that focuses on unexplained phenomena. They interviewed the Hendersons, spoke with neighbors, consulted with experts, and dedicated a 3-part series to investigating the footage. Their conclusion? They honestly had no idea what it was. Even after exhaustive analysis and investigation, they couldn't provide a satisfying explanation. As months passed, the silence seemed to stop. Whatever appeared in the security cameras hasn't been seen again, at least not captured on film. The neighborhood gradually returned to normal, though many residents admit they still check their security footage more frequently than they did before. The Hendersons still live in the same house, though Mrs. Henderson admits she sometimes feels uneasy in her driveway at night, especially around 2:47 in the morning. So what really appeared in that driveway? Was it something paranormal, extraterrestrial, or interdimensional? Was it an elaborate hoax that has fooled multiple experts? Was it some kind of rare natural phenomenon that we don't yet understand? Or is there a perfectly logical explanation that we simply haven't thought of yet? The truth is, despite all the analysis, all the theories, and all the expert opinions, nobody can say with absolute certainty what that